It's about collaboration. And when you understand the collaboration over competition, when you understand getting with like-minded people, even though they might be from different ethnic backgrounds, um, socioeconomically, it could be different, or you might even be in a different industry. Just like the cross-pollination of that group of people, it's a synergy, it's a
Mm-hmm.
mastermind. That's what masterminds are all about. So when you bring a cohort of leaders in their own right, kings and queens who are looking at expanding the territory and helping more people, being of service. I always believe in this, James, that wherever you have enough positive impact, it intersects with income. The byproduct of it, by being with the right people, because you are the collective, your future is the collective of the ABCs,
Mm-hmm.
your associations, the books you read, and the conferences and the collaboration events that you attend.
In the office. Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor, and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. All right, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of DFW Grit. Today we have a real meet cute story, if you will. I don't know what a meet cute is. I heard my wife use that phrase before. So, like I said before, the reason we changed up the branding here is because we wanted this to be more approachable. We wanted to get more people involved. Okay, and I was fortunate enough. I was at this. I don't want to call it a networking meeting because it wasn't a networking meeting, but it was more of a collaborative event at this place called Cigars on 35 for this thing called the Modern Day Dawn. And the meet cute comes in that I'm chilling at the end of the bar. I'm waiting for my old fashioned. Guy pulls up a spot next to me, and man, for all intents and purposes, we hit it off. We talking about writing books. He's like, yeah, I helped the guy right next to you publish his first book, and I help people publish books. And I'm like, hey, oddly enough, I've got a book. It's written and it's not proofread, but man, and it went off from there. So for the first time, and possibly not the last time, because it was just a real interesting story, on DFW Grit, I'd like everyone to welcome Mr. Darren Palmer.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I love what you're doing with the show, man. I love the transition. Love the other guests that you've had. I love the remarkable stories, man. No pun intended with me being in publishing, loving great stories. That's right up my alley, man.
Well, no, like I said, I heard my wife use the phrase. It was a real meet cute, and it seemed fitting because, man, I'm assuming my memory is correct. I was chilling there. You walked up, and dude, like we just hit it off. It was great, and just kind of just riffing and rolling one thing after another. Dude, it was a wonderful. I don't believe in coincidences, but it was a wonderful coincidence to make your acquaintance at the end of the bar that night. It was cool.
And James, just to add a little bit to what you just brought up, the thing is that the night was winding down.
Right?
That I'm right about to leave, and just so happened I stopped by there just to actually pay my tab, and you're sitting right there waiting on your old fashioned or whatnot and a little bite to eat, and we just generally just sparked up a conversation, chatting, and next thing I know, we're talking. I'm like, wait a minute, did this guy just say that he's working on the manuscript? He's working on the
Right?
book. Am I hearing this right? Have I had too many old fashions myself? What I'm saying? So, but with that, it was just, and then it was ironic because just so happened one of my clients was sitting right there by the book. I mean, you couldn't have made this up, even with a holiday story at the time of this recording.
Okay, man. So do me a favor. Give me and the listeners, give me that, dude. Fill in the gap for us. How did you get from where you are to, or where you were to where you are to that bar?
Okay, cool. Well, my name is Darren Palmer, Chief Book Officer with Self Publishing 30 Days. I work with seven-figure entrepreneurs, helping them with the B squared method from book to business, leveraging their books to be able to open up more opportunities, whether it's lead gen or more impact, or to be able to build up their sales teams, or to be able to advance in the marketplace to being experts. So how I was able to get here, I come from a little area called Mount Pleasant, Texas. If you hear the Southern drawl like Tim McGraw, that's where I come from, out of Northeast Texas, Mount Pleasant, Texas. Went to Stephen F. Austin, Ask some Jacks for those Jacks out there, and I also failed British Lit. So the same guy that you hear here right now failed British Lit in college, the whole nine. Went to Houston for some years, went out to Fort Lauderdale doing some other thing with another business that I had in DC. Came back to be closer to my mom after the transition of my stepfather, but was in the publishing business. And the key to it, I would say, James, where I am now is because I had learned from going to masterminds and groups like the event that we were, learning from other individuals like yourself of how to have grit, how to think outside the
Mm-hmm.
box, and that everything is working for you and not against you. So, me felling British Lit, me also being in the speaking arena and doing stuff for corporate speaking and doing leadership training, I needed a book. So, I heard a friend of mine tell me because I was at a book launch and I had my book and a speaking engagement, and people kept asking me, James, hey, I like your book, but I got a book, I got a story. And I'm gonna be honest, because we're on DFW Grit, and I want to be totally transparent. It really got on my nerves, James, to be honest with you. Because see, I was thinking at that particular time, I'm like, man, Les Brown, I love Les Brown, was just at an event a year ago
Yeah.
with him. But I was like, Les Brown is getting to be almost 100 years old. It got to be somebody else. So I was working on my pitch, James. You got to be hungry, so I was working on that, bro. And I was getting all that down. And then I heard a mentor share with me, said, Darren, if somebody asks you something 3 times, create a product. You don't have to do all the beta testing. The people are telling you what they want
Mm-hmm.
from you. You have to listen. So I created a course. That's before courses was real big at that time. Created a little course. They're like, oh man, this stuff is messing up my style. It's messing up my speaking page. Let me create a little landing page for it so it can be on its own. And lo and behold, it kept grabbing traction. And I saw this that we took it to more of an extended area, really honed in, got the team together and focused on it, got intentional what our unique selling point or servicing point was, and we was able to help people. Because this is the key, James, for people who are here. It wasn't about Darren.
Yep.
I actually get more speaking engagements now than I did when I was quote unquote trying to be an inspirational, motivational speaker because of what we have been able to accomplish in the marketplace. And so the guy told me that allowed for me to be able to work with so many people. And then it goes to this right here. There are people who can edit. They they can create stories, but they don't understand the lives of business
Mm-hmm.
owners or leaders. So they can edit your stuff, but they won't tell you what you need to
Yeah.
hear. And your life, your schedule is so busy, you got to have that. So that's how I got here, James, being able to focus on I knew business, and I also knew the need and how I could expand the the platform for those who we were servicing. So it allowed for us to create a unique space in this arena because people didn't look like me. They were either white Anglo-Saxon Protestants from New York or LA, or if they were black, they were female or of the opposite sexual orientation. Not knocking anybody, that's whatever you
Uh-huh.
do. But when you came like somebody who's like an ex-football player from Texas, talking shit and swallowing spit or whatnot, and talking about books, like, wait a minute, what is this black guy
Yeah,
like
no,
he's
I
a
mean, you're
linebacker
gonna,
here?
like attracts like, if you will. So
Yeah.
I want to hit on two things real quick. They kind of brought up. One, like you said, we weren't at a networking meeting.
No.
At a collaborative meeting, and I think that's one thing that I have had the privilege to be more involved in. Not that particular one, but just that style of meetup in general. I feel like I don't know if it's that I just got into it post COVID or if that became a thing post COVID. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because he also said that you noticed that your business started to take off and started to take traction when you focused on the service as opposed to the guy providing the service. And man, and I feel like there's a lot of crossroads in there. Have you noticed that too? Am I making that up, or is that a thing that you've experienced too? Just the shift from networking, quote unquote, to like little collaboration.
Yeah, totally. It's about collaboration. And when you understand the collaboration over competition, when you understand getting with like-minded people, even though they might be from different ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomically it can be different, or you might even be in a different industry. Just like the cross-pollination of that group of people, it's a synergy, it's a
Mm-hmm.
mastermind. That's what masterminds are all about. So when you bring a cohort of leaders in their own right, kings and queens who are looking at expanding the territory and helping more people, being of service. I always believe in this, James, that wherever you have enough positive impact, it intersects with income. The byproduct of it, by being with the right people, because you are the collective, your future is the collective of the ABCs,
Mm-hmm.
your associations, the books you read, and the conferences and the collaboration events that you attend. So everything skyrocketed for me by doing what you just brought up.
And like I said, it's why maybe this is a better question, and this is more coming from inside of here, because I could tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, and I still hold this on a maybe more of a pedestal than I should, is I absolutely used a lot of competition to fuel me, um to get me to where I am. But I've said on numerous occasions that, everyone's like, hey, if you could go back and change one thing, what would you change? Everyone's like, oh, I changed nothing. That's bullshit. You would change something. I'll tell you right now, one of the major things I would change is my willingness and my want to collaborate. Because again, like I said, I don't know if it was a post COVID thing, or just it hit me at the right time for me or something like that. But man, I'll tell you what, it's that shift from networking, hey, let me tell you about me, to collaboration, hey, how can I help you? And in so doing, you help me. Like it's a profound shift. And I mean, I think I just took a little longer than others to figure it out. Sounds like you got a grasp on it relatively quickly.
No, no, no. To be honest with you, in you bring it post COVID. Actually, during COVID is where I was able to meet the gentleman who had the event.
Oh.
We were so it's right on with your story here. So, and the gentleman who was the author at the table just so happened we met at the same spot. So, along with that, I understood the importance. So, in the middle of COVID, I realized like, hey, I can't sit here and wait on the government. I got staff, I got a family. I got to get better. I got to improve. So I made an investment to be at a mastermind or a collaborative event in Palm Beach in Breakers. And people would go to Miami or they would go to Vegas for different things, but world leaders would go to Breakers. Most of all our presidents have frequented or visited Breakers before. And so I went to this event. It was less than 100 people at Breakers. And lo and behold, while I'm there, and the content was great, I learned a lot, but it was the people that I met.
Mhm.
So at this table at brunch, I'm sharing what I do, just like you asked me, and it was going around the table, and two or three people down from me at the same table was Jason. Then two or three people down from him was a guy named Matt that was at the table that you
Mhm.
were. So as we went through and talked about what we need to do, we found out Matt was in Chicago, Jason was in the Dallas area. I was like, wow, I done went all the way out to Florida to meet somebody from
Yep.
Dallas. So lo and behold, we got back out at the Cowboys Club a few months later after that, and we're able to connect, not knowing when I was there, just like it was with you. The gentleman that was at the table, he's like, Darren, I don't know if you know this, I've been working on a book for 12 years. And I don't think this is by accident that in the middle of COVID that I'm sitting here with somebody who's doing books and we connected. So lo and behold, that led to us being at that event. But like I think it was like you remember the clubhouse thing too. That was a big
Yep.
phenom. Not during that time, people were collaborating. They couldn't get out the house. They were networking more, things like that. But I want to make sure that I put an asterisk here and also bring this up. Competition is needed.
True.
So I'm not the one who's saying, "Oh no, peaches and rainbows." No, competition is needed, but for you to be a better competitor in the marketplace, you need to collaborate on your own. Part of your own personal and professional development
Hmm.
is a part of the collaboration component. Just like if you go into battle, you need a team or you need advisors, a confidence, or a cabinet.
Absolutely, man.
So that's
You
the
need,
same
yeah, you
thing
need
that
a
we're
board of
talking about.
advisors. You need people to bounce ideas off of. Like that was one of the things with, I don't remember if this, because like you said, it was the end of the night. So I don't remember every bit of our conversation. Um, but like the brand shift from Fueled by Spite to now DFW Grit. I mean, competition is a man, and I still hold this true to my heart, regardless of what it says on this TV. Competition is a wonderful and magical thing. I mean, I will willingly seek out people doing better than me just so I can try to get where they are, so I can compete with them. Now, some people might not frame it as competition. They might not frame it as spite. That's totally fine. You can slap whatever words on it you want. But yeah, to go off of your asterisks, no, I am in no way, shape, or form discounting the wonders of competition and how far it could truly propel someone forward. I would like to kind of hone down a little bit more on exactly your life and your job, though. So we're publishing books. Are you pulling books out of people, or are people coming to you and going, hey, like in my thing, like, hey, I've got 30,000 words that I think are great. Here, make them better. Like, how does that work with you?
Awesome, great question. So how we do this is we work with people. We're a one-stop shop for all the publishing needs. So some people come to us and say, I just have a desire. They don't have a title. They don't have not one word. And we have them with a book concierge that's able to process, work through. We have a system that's able to extract and pull from them life experiences, where they're going, what area that they're in, what they desire to have, or what they desire to do in the future, to be able to come and put together a book for them. But then also we have packages for people like yourself who come in and say, hey, I got 30, 50,000 words, 20, whatever it is, 10. This is what I'm thinking about, but I want experts' opinion. I still need to put this all together. I need a team to do it, but this is at least a roadmap of what I was thinking about. So once again, we would assign a book concierge with somebody like yourself, and now they will go through it, read, pull from it. Then they will pull you in for a one-on-one writer's therapy session where they will go over, ask you questions, record it, transcribe, put different things in. Sometimes people want it straight and narrow, or want it neat, so to speak, with what they want to be said. Sometimes they want you to elaborate, or they want to gear it towards a certain type of audience or to a crowd for as who they want to speak to. So whatever that is for a person, we do that. So that's everything from ghostwriting. Ghostwriting is totally different, where we write the whole manuscript. Some might need some advancement or extension of what they're doing, somebody to expand upon the talking points that they've already wrote down. Also, some need more of, and we cultivate it. So it's not a cookie cutter approach. Each person's experience is unique to them.
Mhm.
Of course, we bring the years of experience that we have, over a decade worth of experience of doing this or whatnot, but also we are able to allow for it to be tailored towards the approach of them and their brand. So even I'm going to use you as a case study, James. Like if I'm doing this with you, where somebody else would just write it and submit it to you, our team would align things, put stuff in a certain way that we're gearing people back to the DFW Grit
Mhm.
podcast. We bring it back to your practice. We got QR codes, things like that, where we might have you create a certain video or talking point on something that allow for you to be open for other engagements and things like that too as well.
Oh,
So
that's cool. So
that's the
you're
difference.
literally bringing them into the book and then taking them out of the book into other avenues of the author. That's a cool idea. I've got
Yeah, yeah.
completely, I mean, on the same topic, but just a little ADD. Ooh, something shiny question that popped into my head. I feel like, so I started the book because I was going to write an ebook. I wanted to put out 20 pages, and there was going to be two 10-page ebooks, and it turned into damn near 250 pages. Because I just started writing, and it was just like a brain dump kind of thing. But I'm wondering, like, as just going from my process to the way you described yours, um, do you find that once people get the first one out of the way, does anyone ever write just one book? I think that's the best question to ask. Like after they write one, what percentage of people were like, holy shit, like I can actually do this? And then all of a sudden they just start spitting out words.
James, I think that's a great question. Once again, man, you're right on, man. We gotta see if we can partner with you on the team, man. I mean, you're making this a great alley oops here, but to be honest with you, this is also the Achilles heel to people when it comes to actually getting the book done, what you just brought up. We have been heard something that's partly true or partially true. We hear that everyone has a book in
Mm-hmm.
them. That's partially true. The truth is, we all have books, plural, in us. And if you're not careful, the books will smother like a good Southern fried pork chop with gravy. It will smother the actual book. What do I mean by that? That's how people have writer's block. Because the task, I call it D squared, James. We take it from being daunting to doable because people are trying to golden corral the eating experience. So now they have a smorgasbord worth of ideas, but if they knew, just like if you were in school or you working with one patient, you're taking care of that patient. You're not pulling the charts from five other patients and putting it together with that one right
Mm-hmm.
there. So when you're intentional on I'm writing about this, if someone was in college, if it was kinesiology, they would write a class about they would write the report about what they learned in kinesiology. They wouldn't be talking about what they learned in chemistry or British lit. So when people are creating content, just like you're doing a podcast and we're putting it around the publishing and books. But if somebody was a welder, it would be a little bit different because it would be tailored for that particular person. So you are right. So I would say majority of the people, I think is really what ours is more of a 70-30.
Mm-hmm.
That 70% of the people, when we write the book and work with them, they do it more. Just like the gentleman that was at that
Yeah.
table, he's written over 4 books now, even though he was just looking at one. Now he's because now he see that he has a team. It went from daunting to doable, and we didn't ask him to be Ernest Hemingway. We didn't ask him to stop doing the stuff for his whole team. He got over, over 5,000 some agents and stuff like that nationwide. He got a family, got kids. He's a grandfather now. So he realized, like, wait a minute, I thought I had to be Ernest Hemingway and go to Havana, Cuba, and look out of the window and just try to type and write this up. Not wrong with having a great cigar or whatnot in Havana, Cuba or nothing, but he realized I got a team of people that'll work with me and they know my busy life. And that's something that's unique to us. Some people like to punish writers, and I just want to put that out there. They want you to act like you're doing a dissertation. So it's like they want to put you through the ringer
Uh-huh.
because it's some type of thing that they got. Well, I got to make you prove this. But we don't do that. We make it where it's a tailored approach because we run businesses ourselves. So even with me, I follow the same process because I wouldn't have never got anything done if it was just left to me doing stuff the way I was
Yeah.
doing it. So having a team and a process really helps. So to answer your question, 70-30. Once that light, that epiphany happened, that aha moment happened, like, dang, I was able to do this. Oh, I got this idea. I got this idea. I got this idea. And they keep cranking them
Yeah,
out.
I don't know what it was you said that got my mind thinking that, but like it's like tattoos. Like how many people do you see with just one tattoo, right? Same kind of thing. Is like because again, I set out to write 10 or 20 pages, and it turned into like I said, 200 or 300 or something like that. Oh damn, I guess I had something to say, and then all of a sudden it's like what? Once you get used to pulling it out, like hell, maybe I got more to say. But all that aside, like literally, like aside from your wonderful alliterations and the abbreviations you got going on, and your analogies, hell, that's alliteration right there. Um, like, dude, like seriously, you're putting it all together. It's so fantastic. Obviously, there's a system in place. Do me a favor though. What's one thing that you wished I would have asked you or brought up that I didn't?
What's one thing? I would say this. The one thing that I wish you would have brought up that you didn't bring up yet would be why why books?
Perfect. Why books?
Why out of all the things, why books? Why books for you? Why that industry? And the thing that really stood out to me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, James, is I never knew this, so I can't put this in a business plan, but I never knew that I would be able to be a conduit for the positivity and energy to flow through to see people lives transformed. You hear like write a book, be an industry expert, but I've literally seen this process, mend marriages. I seen a gentleman who had a trucking business, he was kind of wilding out a little bit when he was younger or whatnot, had a kid, didn't have a relationship with the kid. They told the kid they was a friend of the family, but they found out that their biological father was an author. That mended the relationship. And the guy heard from this guy this past month. This was 4 or 5 years ago, and he was talking about how he still has a relationship with that daughter. That it was an estranged relationship or whatnot. And then also being at a book lunch and hearing a mother say, "Hey, when I thought it was impossible for my children to even get a college education, and then now to see that we got an author in the family. You know, I got an 8th grade education. The dad he came from another country, and to see this stuff happening, and then also the business impact, to see the leaders that are being created. And when people are telling me, keep reaching back out to me, he's a physical therapist out in Brooklyn or whatnot. It's like, man, everything you was telling me, man, like, man, I'm speaking on this. And now all of a sudden his partners, now he's become a partner with that organization or whatnot. He was going to go out on his own, but because of what he did through the books or whatnot. So it's helping people who are, I like to call them entree leaders, who are within an organization already, allowing for them to scale as well. It's helping business owners, C-suite execs, and even pastors and leaders, or even someone who just want to have an heirloom and they got a poetry book or something
Oh,
like that for
that's
their
cool.
families.
I never thought
So
about that aspect of
the
it.
impact, yeah, yeah. So the impact that I see, what it does for families, and them being so appreciative, the impact of it was something that's mind blowing to me to see. Like, wow, you know, seeing a guy make over, and I got to put this one out here, like seeing a guy make over $500,000. He was like you, James. He's like, you know, Darren, man, I just got a few quotes, man. I don't even know if it should be a book. But what we did was, because he trusted us, we put together a book that he just wanted to be an ebook. He made the investment. We put the book together, quote book. We created unique designs within it, made it interactive or whatnot. But long story short, it wasn't all his quotes. We had quotes from other people, whatnot, that was public that we could use, tied those in or whatnot. He ended up making over $500,000. It wasn't about the $25 book sales, because he used that as leverage to his clients with his books and had himself on it. So now all of a sudden he had a referral because he gave a book to somebody. He was able to close a multi-million-dollar deal, but his commission from that was $500,000, not to mention referrals and things like that. So that's something else that we help assist people with, is to help them think outside the box and understand that it's not just a $25 book sale.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the leverage, the impact, and the people you're connecting with, and the referrals that you'll be able to receive because you are expert in the
Dude,
marketplace.
that's awesome. So, man, $500,000 from, look, I got some quotes. That's so badass. So, if you said anything that touched somebody, that somebody grabbed a hold of, that somebody's like, "Hey, I need to find Darren. Darren, how do people find you?"
Okay. Awesome. You can catch me, you can reach out on any platform, self-publish, SELF, publish, PUBLISH, the letter N, not ING, not IN, the letter N as in Nancy, 30 days at on Instagram. You can go to .com, selfpublishing30days.com. Also, I'm Darren M. Palmer on LinkedIn, other platforms. But if you click self-publish in 30 days, you'll be able to connect with us or whatnot. And, you know, and James, I just want to tell you, man, I love what you're doing. I love your energy. I love your brand, your companies, man, your spirit, your energy. You know, you meet the right people, like it says in scripture, man, iron sharpens iron, and be able to connect with great people like yourself. It's just awesome, man.
No, man, and I appreciate you taking the time today. Hell, I appreciate you stepping up to pay your tab at the end of the bar that night. Darren, man, I appreciate your time. To everybody else watching, thanks. As always, like, share, and follow. If you got some words in you and you want to get them out, you want to get them down on paper, this is the guy you need to talk to. Self-publish in 30, self-publish in 30 days. Darren Palmer. Darren, dude, I appreciate your time, man. You have a great rest of your day. I hope 2025 is going to kick ass for you, dude. I really appreciate this, man.
No doubt, man. Let's rock, man.
Take it easy, bro. Everyone on, what is this called again? DFW Grit. Still getting used to the brand change. Another episode of DFW Grit in the books. As always, like I said, like, share, follow. You guys have a great rest of your day. You will learn more here by accident than elsewhere by design. And Mr. Palmer here is case in point, proof of that. We'll see you guys later.